Hey everyone, it is Saturday, October 16th. The time right now is 4:43 p.m. and the temperature is around 13 degrees Celsius. And that was the 510 Spadina streetcar I was just on. And I'm here in Chinatown. That's the intersection of Spadina Avenue and Dundas Street West. And for this one, I'm going to take a walk passing through one of Toronto's most well-known neighborhoods. And that is Kensington Market, known for its eclectic mix of various shops, restaurants, cafes, and that sort of thing. Then I'll head north through Harbour Village, and I'll take a few different residential streets, making my way up to Harbour Street. Then I'll head over to Spadina Avenue. And from there, I'll head to my final destination, which is Gyubee Japanese Grill. That's a rather excellent all-you-can-eat Japanese barbecue restaurant, and that's located up on Bloor Street West. And that would be in the Annex neighborhood. So this is, of course, Chinatown. And on the west side of Chinatown, in the direction the camera is pointing, is Kensington Market. I have dinner plans at Gyubee for 5:30, so I have 45 minutes to get there. I'm guessing this will only take me about 25 or 30 minutes or so.
My sister-in-law.
So we've finally got a day of some of that cool fall weather that we've been without for most of fall. And I checked the hourly forecast and it did say there would be some rain between 5 and 6 p.m. I just got distracted there for a second. The guy was yelling at a car. Looked like it cut him off while he was on his bike.
So that means he's not.
So this won't be a comprehensive tour of Kensington Market or anything, but I'll start here at Kensington Avenue. The other option would be to head west for another block and head north up Augusta Avenue. Here you can get a men's haircut for $15. There is El Rey Eatery. It might be better to be on the other side of the street. I'm not dealing with parked cars blocking the view. And there's an iconic shot of Kensington. This has to be Toronto's most photographed and Instagram-friendly neighborhood. And there's some neat laneways and alleys in Kensington that are worth exploring. All right, there seems to be some live music up ahead. Hopefully I don't pick up another copyright match. When did I walk through East Danforth? There was a cover song that got picked up. And I said goodbye to the revenue on that video.
A cold girl will kill you.
Hopefully not. And there, on St. Andrew Street, or the corner of St. Andrew and Kensington, is one of the last remaining produce markets here in Kensington. There's one just around the corner from here I'll be walking by called Sunwa. That was here for 27 years and it recently closed down, I think just a few months ago in July. There's been a number of prominent Kensington Market mainstays closing during the pandemic, including a bar just up here on the left that was called Cold Tea. That was quite popular.
It's like 20 bucks.
If not a bit difficult to find if you weren't sure exactly where you were going. There is Tribal. You'll notice there's not a lot in terms of chain stores in this area. The Business Association and the residents are quite adamantly opposed to that. Well, there's a Dirty Bird Chicken and Waffles. That's the original location, I believe. The Kensery. It's a clever name for a dispensary. And this here is Baldwin. So to the west here is Spadina Avenue in Chinatown. I'll be coming back here at some point in the not too distant future to do a dedicated walk just through Kensington. I'm not sure what the status is of pedestrian Sundays when they close the streets to vehicle traffic, but if that's still a thing, I'll be sure to check that out. Here's a neat laneway. Okay, so my camera just kind of rebooted itself. That was weird. It turned off and turned itself back on and started recording again. It's done that a few times recently. So this is Augusta Avenue. And there's where Sunwa was, as I was just mentioning. And you could take this south down to Dundas Street West. Got to keep an eye on this camera. It keeps shutting itself off like that. I do have another one. It's definitely good to see Kensington coming back to life. It was quite deserted over the pandemic. Here is Nassau Street. And now, since my camera reset, I'm not sure how long I've been recording for. There's a popular taco spot. There's a fixture of Kensington. There's been a number of different cars used over the years. This on the right used to be a burrito restaurant.
And it's pretty cute in there.
There's a good crowd at Trinity Common.
I've been here for food. Not good.
I do have an umbrella with me if the rain hits. And this is College Street. So off to the west, past Bathurst Street, you'll be leaving downtown and entering Little Italy. And the neighborhood on the north side of College here is known as Harbour Village. That is bordered to the east, where the camera's pointing, by Spadina Avenue, to the south by College Street right here, to the west by Bathurst Street, and to the north by Bloor Street West. Although sometimes it's referred to as Annex South. The Annex being a very popular neighborhood just on the north side of Bloor Street. And it appears we're at a very long light cycle. There's a 506 Carlton streetcar. Okay, now we're gonna get away from the busyness for a bit. I'm gonna head north here at Brunswick Avenue. Which conveniently has this counterflow bike lane. And a water fountain. I wonder if that has been turned on. Yes, that is not something that would have happened earlier in the pandemic. And there is a long-term care facility just on the right. I think I'll head over to the west side so we can get a nicer look at the homes. Most of these homes are circa late 1800s, early 1900s. And a lot of these ones, I think, go for about $1.6 to $2 million Canadian, although some of the bigger ones go for much more than that. There's some clever Halloween decorations. So I'll be taking this up to the next cross street, then I think I'll head east for a block, and then I'll walk north up to Harvard Street, and I'll just take that over to Spadina. There's been a lot of requests for residential walks, so I thought I'd incorporate some of them into my regular videos. I know some people might find this a little on the boring side. One thing you can do is just play the video at 2 times. There's a mini pumpkin patch of sorts. All right, I'm going to cross back over to the west side. There's a home for sale. Or is it an apartment for rent? Oh, it says for lease, yeah. If I see a house that's actively for sale, maybe I'll try to look it up and get the price. There's some nice front lawn landscaping. And here's a park coming up on the left. That is the Margaret Fairley Park. And you might be noticing, where are the driveways? Well, in behind these homes there are laneways where you can park, and there'll be a garage. And you'll even find some laneway homes in them. In fact, one of the most interesting streets in the city in that regard is just a few blocks to the west of here. That is Croft Street. Or is it Craven Street? Those names are getting mixed up. Oh, it is Croft Street. I just glanced at my phone quickly. I did a dedicated walk along there not too long ago. And this is Ulster Street, U-L-S-T-E-R. And I think this is Major Street coming up. And here's a very uncharacteristic house for the neighborhood. It doesn't really fit in, does it? And here's what I was talking about by the laneways. And this is called the Chapel Hospice Laneway. There's a hospice to the south of there. That's a mean looking sky. This here is Greenberg Lane. So you could take these streets north up to Bloor Street. A lot of them change directions. They are one-way streets. You'll notice here it goes south, but when you get to Harvard Street, it changes to a northbound street, and that's just to discourage through traffic. In modern suburbs, they often build large, confusing cul-de-sacs. Or at least modern suburbs they do, and that's their method of preventing traffic from, or discouraging it from going through the local neighborhoods, but it's a rather stupid solution. It discourages walking and cycling. Another thing you can do is just put up barriers at the end of streets, or that only allow you to turn one way. That way you can maintain the north, south, east, west street grid, and at the same time limit the amount of through traffic, and you don't discourage cyclists or people on 2 feet walking. And we've got rain, ladies and gentlemen. What feels very much like a sun shower. And this is Harvard Street, which cuts through the heart of Harvard Village. Although this is nothing like the rain I recorded in yesterday. It was a rather heavy downpour through the Little Jamaica neighborhood. Is Robert Street. I did find a property for sale just to the east of there. That was a 1-bedroom, 2-bath unit at 87 Harvard Street. That was selling for 1.5 million Canadian dollars. I saw that there was an association fee, which I think is essentially a condo fee of $718 a month. All right, at some point, I'm going to need the umbrella here to cover up the camera. I think it might be this building here, one of these 2-bedroom units, $1.5 million. With some rather hefty condo fees. I'm going to turn around and get a look at the camera lens just to make sure there's no water on it. Well, looks pretty good to me. We'll just keep moving and hope the heavy rain stays away. There's a number of fairly popular restaurants on this stretch of Harvard Street. I think the city officially calls this neighborhood University, and it encompasses the University of Toronto, which is just on the other side of Spadina Avenue here. There's some graduate housing. Hey, a rainbow! Look at that. Maybe this is Instagram worthy. I'm going to take my camera out. There's me shooting the rainbow. Maybe I'll grab a few more. I gotta wait for the light to change anyways. I think I'm gonna walk north up Spadina here to Bloor. And I'll take the west side. So if you're to follow south on Spadina, that'll take you into Chinatown, where we started this walk. There's a CN Tower sighting. Ooh, thought I was zooming, I just tilted my camera up. There's a couple of local rival pizza shops right here. Right next to a couple of barbecue places. There's Papasio, and next to it is Cora. And these places have been here for as long as I can remember. And I think you pick one and remain fiercely loyal to it if you're in the area. So this apartment here is being extensively renovated. I remember when they put the new balconies in not too long ago. And it says studios there. Start at $16.95. That's not so bad. One bedroom's $18.50, and two bedrooms $24.95. And the location is quite fantastic. You've got a subway station just to the north, as well as the Annex, one of the more desirable neighborhoods. And you're part of Harvard Village, another highly desirable neighborhood. Chinatown to the south as well. Providing there's no bedbug issues and management is competent. And the place is a decent size. I'm a little surprised at how affordable that is relative to what you'd pay for a newer condo just to rent a spot. That's mostly University of Toronto property over to the east there. And those were the streetcars head underground to their terminal station, which is at Spadina. This is, of course, where the Allen Expressway was supposed to be located. I talked about that in some prior videos. It's definitely been a godsend to the city that that project was canceled.
I wish I had some sort of premonition that I'd find another kind of like good jacket.
There's some umbrellas making an appearance. And this building on the left here, I think it's 736 Spadina. There's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath unit in there going for $3.2 million. Oh, 3-bed and 3-bath. Hardly a bargain. Here's the Miles Nadal Center. And this is the end of Spadina Avenue, as north of here is Spadina Road. To the left is pretty much the heart of the Annex neighborhood, even though it's bordered by Bloor Street to the south. And I've been employing my hand umbrella. There's a look to the west into the Annex. That's a really neat looking sky. And Gyubee is just a few blocks to the east of here, so we've almost made it. Let me check the camera lens again. Seems to be relatively clear. I had to wipe it off several times during my walk yesterday. It's not the kind of heavy rain that's really accumulating on the camera. There's what I talked about, the Allen Expressway, also known as the Spadina Expressway. The death of that was definitely a good thing. And coming up on the right here, I believe this is called UTS. It's a University of Toronto prep school. That is undergoing some extensive renovations. In fact, I think their lease was just up with the university, and that got renewed recently. There's some University of Toronto student housing. And the building where we're heading, that's where the restaurant is located, was called Rochdale College, although it's now got a different name. And it opened up in 1968 as kind of an experiment in student living and working. Students lived amongst their teachers, and the idea was they would live in what was essentially a large co-op and get free education as part of that deal. It had space for 840 residents.
Well, they were trying.
But it turned into sort of a den of crime and drugs. And in 1975, the experiment ended, and it was converted into a modern-day apartment, which is what we see here. And here is Huron Street. And it looks like there's a good lineup at the restaurant I'm going to already. They don't take reservations. And a meal for two or for one on the weekends is $40. That's all you can eat. Meat and plus your drink, of course. So I'm probably looking at a good $70 or $80 for my meal, all in. And right next to it is the Baddest Shoe Museum. And across the street is St. George Subway. Here we are at Gyubee. Oh, the lineup's not as bad as I thought. On that note, I hope you enjoyed this walk from Chinatown north through Kensington Market and Harbour Village and into the Annex. And I'm gonna head in and get my name down and start the wait. If you wish to support the channel, there are links to my Patreon and Instagram in the description. And Instagram and YouTube channel membership. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you on the next one. As I awkwardly flip the camera around.